Attention, please. The stream starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Bring that right back. There we go. Yeah, I mean, you got to bring it back on the DJ tip.
Yeah, bring that beat back.
Yeah, man. This Joint Podcast.
Yes.
Let me say it again.
Say it.
This Joint Podcast.
All right now.
Straight out of Philly.
Whoa,
Yeah,
where?
man. Out of Philly.
Come on now.
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's how we, the city of brotherly love, goddammit.
Yes. I just think they tried to change that too.
Nah, they don't need to change that. They need to let it in. You know what
It
I mean?
ain't even make sense. Nobody is saying
Yeah,
whatever it was. Nobody says that.
Leave it where it's at. You know what I mean? Well, before we listen,
Yes.
I got to introduce my man sitting
Come
right
on,
to the right of me.
do that.
My man, Mr. CJ Moore, a good friend of mine. God damn it!
Yes.
I feel like everything tonight I'm gonna end with God damn it.
No.
I like
Don't laugh at him, CJ.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
No, he gonna laugh tonight.
I like it.
He gonna laugh tonight. My man is an investor.
Yes, he is.
You know what I mean? So he don't know I'm about to tap his pockets later on. You know what I mean? Just let me borrow a couple of dollars, you know?
I'm gonna be like you when I grow up.
Listen, I tell everybody my money is tied up in investments, so I don't have money.
Oh, I gotta use that.
Well, that's a good one.
Yeah, I gotta use that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Pam like, are we gonna go to dinner? Let's say, babe, all
It's
my
all
money
in
tied up in investments.
Joe gonna be like, can I get them sneakers? All my money tied up in investments,
You know?
Jordan.
What is it tied up into?
My investments.
Yeah, there you go.
That's it.
Yeah, there you go, my investments. CJ, man, what's good, my brother?
I can't complain, man. I'm doing good. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, man, listen, I'm glad you're here, dog. You know what I mean? I'm glad you're here. We gonna talk. We're gonna talk investing.
Yes.
You know, we're talking like a little real estate because you deal with both sides of the coin, right?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, hey, yo, man, we gonna talk that smack, goddamn it.
Come on now.
You know what I mean? Look at Reese. Look at Reese in the chat talking about let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Look at Reese in the chat.
My God.
Look at my man Reese. Look at my man Reese. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Reese.
All right, give it to him. Let's say, Reese, I miss you down the courthouse, bro. You know?
Oh, Maurice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, used to be with DHS.
DHS. Yes, the courts.
Yeah, used to be down at the courts.
Come on up here. We can't wait.
You know what I mean? Getting hollered at by all the judges. Ain't got to worry about that no more.
Nope.
Thank God.
Hey, listen, before we get started with the interview, I got a question, bro. I mean, you do a lot of investing, right?
Yes.
So, you know what I mean? I got some property.
Okay.
You know what I mean? How can I go and, you know, me and you can hook it up? Because I got like a little junkyard, man. I might want, you know what I mean? I want to try to get you to sell for me, bro. You know? You know, can you hook me up?
I mean, it's all about the numbers. The numbers
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
make sense.
You know what I mean? Make it make sense.
That's it.
Oh, man. Hold on. I got my homework. Hold on, my homework.
Oh, man. Come on now. Get it together.
Oh, man. Let's see, man. Who we got? Oh, yeah. Y'all, listen. Y'all know we do our homework over here at this joint. Yeah, man. We don't play around.
Don't do it.
You know what I mean?
Don't
We shit on other podcasts.
Come on. We do what? We do what?
I mean, just from a production standpoint, this top notch here. So.
Oh, bro, man. Listen, bro. Thanks.
Get it, Carlo.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Man.
You talk that stuff.
I'd like to do it for my people, man. You know, my friends and family. You know, so listen, my first question, man. Now, what is the difference? Because we talked about this off air.
Okay.
What's the difference between a wholesaler and an investor?
Okay. So when you think about real estate, it's basically buying and selling properties.
Okay.
In the simplest form. So the difference between a wholesaler and an investor. So a wholesaler is basically a middle person.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Okay.
So it's basically you got a property, you want to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
So I say, okay, how much you want this property for?
Mm-hmm.
You give me a number. So I'm doing some research to see what this property can be sold for. So say you say you want $25,000. I'll do some research. I'm looking in the area. Say houses in the area are selling for, just say $35,000.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm saying, okay, well, he wants 25. I can go to another investor, and I know that they're selling for 35. I can go to that another investor and say, hey, listen, I got a property. You selling 123 Main Street. I'm the wholesaler. So we sign a contract. I say, all right, cool. I'll take it off your hands. I go to somebody else, another investor or whoever, and just say, hey, I have this property, 123 Main Street. I'm letting it go for 32. Now they know that the average property is being sold for 35, so the 32 to them
sound good.
is a win-win.
Is it one? Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're like, oh, 32? Cool, I'll take that. So then I sign a contract with them. Once I sign the contract with them, they give me the 32. I take the 25 out of that 32. I pay you. There's a transfer that literally skips over me. That person bought the property. You got your 25. The other $7,000 is all mine.
Wow.
So that's a wholesaler.
Yeah.
Now the difference from an investment standpoint is, as a wholesaler, you're only as good as your last sell.
Okay.
So
okay.
I sold that for $7,000 and I made $7,000. That's it. I'm done. No, there's no more money in the transaction
Coming in.
The investor side is a little bit different, or a lot bit different, however you see it. As an investor, now say I'm the person on the end that bought it for the 32.
Yeah.
So it might need rehab or some kind of maintenance or construction done to it. Okay, so I've already done my due diligence to say, okay, if I buy this for 32, I know it needs, we'll just use even numbers, it needs $50,000 worth of work. Okay, so I know that if I buy it for 32 and I put 50 in it, now I'm all in at 82,000. Now I need to understand what the value is. So again, I've done my due diligence from the beginning, and I know that once I fix this property up, we'll use the even numbers.
Okay.
It's worth 100. So now I know that, okay, the value of this house is 100,000. Now I've only put 82 into it. And so I have that, now it's equity. So basically I have equity in the house because it's worth 100, but I only have overhead of 82,000.
Yeah.
So I got equity in the property. So down the line, just say the property's worth 100,000. Just say the value goes up to 150. Now I bought it at 82. They fixed it up and all of that, and now it's worth 150. If I sell it at 150, if you do 150 minus 82, that's 68,000. So now I've made a profit of 68,000.
You made a nice profit.
Yeah. That's if I flip it. If you invest it in what they call buy and hold investors, which that's what I am. So basically, we'll take that same thing. We bought it for, just say, we'll use even numbers, 30,000.
Okay.
So this person bought it for 30,000.
Okay.
We put 50 in it. So now we at 80. But this house is worth 200,000. So okay, now this worth 200,000. I'm the buy and hold investor. So now what I want to do is, since I bought it for that 30, put 50 into it, I want to refinance it because the value is 200,000. So I go to a bank and I say, hey, I want to put a mortgage on this house. I want to refinance it. So the bank normally gives you 75% of what the house is worth. So at 200, that house is worth 150. I mean, the bank will give you 150 because that's 75% of 200.
So now is that 75% for like an investor hookup, or
no? That's anybody.
Anybody.
Yeah. So
anybody.
So if you are investing in a property, that's like literally the going rate. So you don't have, there's no like, you don't have to get a license to be an investor or anything. You just got to understand the numbers.
Okay. Really?
So,
okay.
Yeah. So, and so if you're refinancing, that's normally the rate that they'll give you. There's a difference between banks, hard money lenders, and there's a lot of different ways you can get finance. Now we'll explain that, but the bank will give you 75%. So they'll give you 75%, which is 150,000. So what that means is when I refinance it, the bank gives me 150,000. That's my mortgage. That's what I'm mortgaging off of. So now I have a mortgage of 150,000 on this property. So, but again, remember, they gave me 150,000. I bought it for 30. I put 50 into it. So I literally only spent 80,000. So 150 minus 80 is 70,000. So literally I take the 80, I pay off whatever, if I used a loan to fix the house up, or if I had credit cards or however I got the 50,000
expenses like a contractor or that you may have used, you paid off with that.
So whoever does the work, you pay them. The 30,000 that I used to buy the house. So wherever I got that, if it was from my 401k, if it was from a loan, if it was from a whatever, however you got that money, that 80 that I used to buy it and fix it. When the bank gives me that check for 150, or well, they won't give me a check for 150. What they'll do is they'll give me a mortgage, and then I'll take the 70 out of. I'll take the 80, pay that 80 off, and now I have 70K left over to either do the same thing over, or put it in your pocket, or whatever. So on the investor side, there's a little bit more. Excuse me. There's a little bit more bang for your buck, because not only as a buy and hold investor, I got the 70 from the refinance, but I'm also getting the monthly cash flow off the rental. So just say off that $150,000 mortgage, $150,000 mortgage, say the monthly note is, again, we'll use even numbers. Say it's a $900 mortgage. That's what my mortgage is every month. Now, the house is, 3 bedrooms. So I charge $1,500 to rent it. And so, or I'll say $1,300, because Section 8, we'll get into that, but Section 8 charges they charge like $1,300 for a 3 bedroom. So, okay, I charge $1,300. Well, the note is $900. So now I'm positively cash flowing $400 a month. So every month I get the mortgage, the renter or the tenant pays me the $1,300. I pay the $900 on the mortgage. $400 is in my pocket. So now I got one stream of income is the monthly cash flow off the rent. The other stream of income was off the refinance. When I refinanced it, the bank gave me the 150. I paid the 80. So now I have 70 left over. And then the third way that is a little gem is being my own contractor. So now,
so you done cut out.
Listen, he done cut out 1,000 middlemen.
Listen, he done cut out the middleman.
And one day my goal is to be my own bank. So that way I don't even have to go to the bank and get a loan for 10%. Right now it's like you want to get a what they call a hard money loan. It's around between 10 and 12% interest. Well, if I build up enough capital, I can borrow my own money. And if I want to add interest on myself, I could. But if I want to get a 0% interest loan from myself, then it's a win-win.
It's a win-win.
That's the ultimate goal, is to be able to fund your own deals. But using what they call OPM, or other people's money, that's how you leverage. And that's how you scale faster. So being a buy and hold investor, like flipping. So there's a difference between wholesaling, buy and hold, and then selling. Selling is basically, you get a property, you fix it up, you sell it. There's something called capital gains tax, and I do not mess with Uncle Sam. So, I try to, the least amount of times I can speak to him or see him, I will. So I try to stay away from that capital gains tax. So me as an investor, everything is buy and hold. I rent out everything, so I don't have any, have to pay that capital gains.
Okay.
So, do you research properties to invest in?
I don't know if you can see you probably can't see my phone, but as you can see, I get deals sent to me. This was sent to me 53 minutes ago. And literally, I get deals sent to me probably 40, 50 of them a day.
Man, you got a lot of alerts on that phone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My man got a lot of alerts on his phone.
And literally, I'm up in the middle of the night after I put my kids to bed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the computer and I'm looking. Okay, what does this deal look like?
Yeah.
Does it make sense? Is it worth it?
Mm-hmm.
Can it make me some money? Is it something that, one of my investor friends, I might not have the bandwidth to invest in it, but I know it's a good deal. So, hey, I'll reach out to one of my friends and say, hey, listen, can we JV on this, which is joint venture? Can we partner on this? Or, hey, can I just sell this to you? So I'm researching deals, every day.
Mm-hmm.
And Saturday mornings when I'm taking my kids to flag football and soccer,
Mm-hmm.
every time out, I'm looking at the
You're
floor.
looking at you're like, yeah, I'm gonna make this deal happen. So now let me ask you. So, is investing your full-time career?
So no. So I guess you could call it part-time. I feel like I got 2 full-time jobs.
Okay.
But
Okay.
my 9 to 5 is, if you want to call it that. I work for an actual commercial real estate company. So I'm seeing the commercial side during the day, and at night I'm seeing the residential.
You're saying
side.
which is your
My business,
which
that
is
I
your
own.
business.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So is that what made you get started by you working at the real estate company you're at now?
No, I actually was doing it prior to this, and I guess the universe must have saw like, hey, you're already doing this, so let's put you in it, on the corporate side. So I only been doing this for 3 years. It's not like I'm not. I tell everybody I'm not a guru. I'm not that guy that's going to tell you, yeah, I'm this guy, and I've only been doing it for 3 years, and I learned a lot in that 3 years. But again, it's once I got started, I was nervous like anything else at first start, but once I started getting into the nitty gritty of it, I'm like, to take something that most people would see as like an eyesore or I would never buy that house or whatever, and to fix it up and then see a tenant come in there and tears welling up in their eyes. I never thought I would live in a house that looked like this. And it's like, that's where
you may say you
listen. If you looked at it prior,
you seen this house
and I
before I fixed it up.
I do.
That's where Pookie used to live.
Yeah, I show them. I'm like, listen, this is what it looked like, 6 months ago, 8 months ago, and they're like, this is not the same house. I'm like, it is. So, that's the part that for me that was like, that's when the light bulb went off. Like, this is what I want to do. It wasn't even really the money part. It was just like, wow, I'm affecting somebody's life, on a grand level, like just for a basic necessity. Like we all need somewhere to live. So that's when for me, it was like, oh, okay, this is what I want to do.
Now in Southwest Philadelphia, there is a home on Cedar Avenue, I believe, like 54th and almost, I think, like $1 million. Is that the work of an investor?
A developer, which is an investor.
Oh, okay. Because clearly, any other home on that block is only like 150 tops.
So there's a thing called comps, which is short for comparables. And what happens is when you create a certain property, they have to compare it to something else to let you know how much it's worth.
Okay.
So like a regular row home, just say 3-bedroom, 1-bath row home, the comps are all of the other row homes that are within a half-mile radius.
Okay.
So there's hundreds of homes that are in that half-mile radius that you can understand what the value is. It's basically the value is what have these homes been selling for in the last 6 months. That's where that's how you can tell what the house is valued as. And so if you got a 3-bedroom, 1-bath house, you just look at the other houses that have been sold.
Other homes.
But where it gets tricky is if you have something that is not readily available. So like that property on Cedar Avenue, say if it's, and I'm making this up because I don't know, but just say if it's 8 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. There's no 8-bedroom, 4-bathroom houses in that area. So you got to go out a little further. And then you go out, say, a mile. If there's no more, you got to go out a little further. And so probably what's happening with that house is they're getting comps from University City. And houses
That's
in
how it works,
University
huh?
City are selling for $1 million. So that developer knew, like, hey, I know that these houses that are close to it are not going to compare because the stuff that I have in here is normally goes by bedrooms and bathrooms. So if you got 3 bedrooms, you're going to have a comp that's either 3 bedrooms, maybe 2, but it's normally bedroom for bedroom, bathroom for bathroom. So that property probably has stuff that no other house around it does. So we just got to go out further until we get a comp that's comparable.
Because I mean, I've seen the house, and I mean, it's 3 bathrooms, and indoor garage.
Yep.
You know, it's a beautiful home.
So anything you add on to it, now you have to compare it to something similar. So the one thing that most row homes in Philly don't have is a garage.
Yeah.
So now that puts you with some
private garage.
Right.
Yeah.
So now I have to find something that's comparable. And it literally, the nearest thing could be in the Northeast. And that's nowhere near.
And they got to keep going
and they
further.
have to find because you have to make it comparable to something else.
Wow. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
That's something.
Learn something new every day.
Learn something new every day. I promise you.
You know what I mean? So, behind the scene, we talked about education and certification, and you even mentioned it a few minutes ago about there's, you don't have to go to school to be an investor. And that's considered a school of hard knocks. Like you're gonna learn.
You gonna learn today. Kevin Hart said you're gonna learn today.
How did you, or who did you watch, or just like listen, let me watch this person, or do my research to become an investor without losing, my underwear. You know what I mean? And on a bad investment.
So for me, and I want to give a shout out to these guys because they real stand up guys. If you go on Instagram, there's a guy's name is.
Give it to him. I give it to him. Yeah, I mean, give him a clap.
I always like to give people their flowers, but the one guy, his name is Doug Depp, Depte.
Okay,
Doug Depp. I actually took his not like a course, but he has something called a ride along where he rents out a bus and he takes you to his properties, and they're all in like different stages. So he'll take you to the first one where he like just purchased it. It's like grandmom's house from 1960. It's still got, columns and all this old other stuff. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna tear it down. I'm gonna do demo. I'm gonna do X, Y, or Z.
Yeah.
And he takes you to the next house, and it's kind of like where they've already did the demo, and now they're adding in the mechanicals, which is the heating, the plumbing, and the electric. So you see how they're, how that all of that stuff runs through the house, and then he takes you to the next house where the walls are up, and he's like, okay, we're about to do painting, and we're putting the kitchen in X, Y, and Z. So I took that. I went to the ride along, and I just was like, okay, I like this. And he had like I hate the word master class, but he had like a master class. And I took that, and I mean he was real thorough. So definitely want to shout out Doug, because he really made. He kind of put the battery in my back. Like, okay, I can do this. I'm a regular person, but I can do this.
Yeah.
And then there's like 2 other guys. It's another guy on Instagram, DS Boone, DSBOONE. I follow his page. He has a lot of good information.
Yeah, I mean, gotta give him. Let's give him his flowers too. Let's give him his flowers too.
Yeah, and there's another guy, Newt the Entrepreneur, NEWT _the Entrepreneur. I mean, I'm always give people their flowers.
Yes.
This young guy, he's 27. He's a young guy.
That's young to be doing this thing.
And he has like 80, 90 units.
Wow.
He is killing the game. And he's another guy who will give you the information for free. I went to he was being interviewed on a podcast, and I was there, and he just was giving me, information. He even told me like, hey, I invest in this zip code. So if you come over there and you invest, you could use, my properties as your comps. And then that way, your properties.
Your properties will go up.
Yep. So
Teamwork makes the dream work.
yeah, so shout out to him too. So he's a good guy. So
Yeah, I got to give him another one.
Give him the hand.
Yeah, give him another one right there.
so-
Give him another one.
those are the three guys that Doug was first, and I kind of started following some real estate people. But yeah, that's kind of how I started. It was 2020. It was the pandemic. I had just got laid off my job, and I'm like, okay, I need to do something. And I've been in corporate America since, I don't know, probably my early 20s. And once I got laid off, well, at first I was in HR, so I laid off 14. I laid off 14,000 people in March or April of 2020. And it was like, wow, I just laid off all these people. And then September came and it was like, hey,
You're laid off.
sorry, you got to go too.
And then you're dead.
So I was
Look, they
like,
probably was like, hey, listen, we forgot to add your name to that list. But
yeah, and I was just sitting
Thank
around
you.
like, hold on, all right.
Because look at me now.
Like,
Yeah.
this can't be life. So I was like, you know what? I got to start tapping into something that, I can take control of. And from there, it was just like, okay, here we go. Here goes the first one. I do this. Oh, this worked. Let's try it again. And then kind of snowball from there.
Okay. You got something, Stacey?
Sure. What kind of is there any type of negotiating trick or tactic that's used, to when you're investing in a property?
It varies. It's all according to your seller. You got to kind of understand who your seller is. In this business, everybody's trying to get the best deal. So that's why it's always important to do your due diligence because, somebody could be selling you something and they say, oh, here, I'll give you this for 10 grand. And you're like, oh, what? And they, show you a picture of it and you're like, okay. And then you like, all right, ooh, I'm gonna ride past there. And you ride past there and it's a piece of dirt. You're like, well,
Look, it's not even a trap house.
no,
That's a whole plot.
yes,
It's just
a
a trap. It's a trap. No, it's just a trap.
Or they tell you like, oh, listen, I sell you this for 40,000. It only need $5,000 worth of work put into it. So you're like, oh, okay. And then you go on the inside and you open the front door and it has no floors. And so you're looking like, oh, well, I could have just fell into the basement. And you're telling me this only needs $5,000 worth of work. So
Motherfucker.
So yeah, it's
Foolishness.
just according to your seller, just understanding your seller. Some people are what they call motivated sellers.
Okay.
They either tired of being a landlord or they tired of paying the taxes on this house
Right.
and just sitting there. Or some people just, their family passed away and they live in Alabama and they like, I'm not coming to Philly to do anything with this. So they're motivated to sell. Some people you gotta kind of give them a little nudge like, hey, I know you got this house. I know this is grandmom's house. I know you want to keep it, but you haven't done anything with this house for 3 years. I can give you this money, and you can go on about
Going about your business.
Going about your business. So it's just understanding your seller and understanding, what's the value in it for them. And then once you get that understood, then that's when you can kind of figure out your negotiation tactics and go from there.
So now, I want you to break it down the investment process.
Okay.
From stage one.
Okay. So the first thing to do is you got to find a property. So
Okay.
you can go on sites like realtor.com and Zillow to find properties. That's kind of watered down. You're not going to really find any bang for your buck. I'm not saying that you won't find it at all, but you won't really find bang for your buck. So what you want to do is get out there on, for me, it was social media. I was on Facebook and I was in all type of real estate groups and I was just on Facebook Marketplace. That's how I bought my first house.
Finding properties
And
on
literally
Facebook Marketplace?
People list
Are you
properties.
serious? Get out of here.
They will list them on there, and I mean, or me, honestly, there's something called driving for dollars. So what I would do again, I got laid off, so I ain't got nothing but time. And so
I got time for your ass today.
in September, I literally would just drive block to block. I would look for, houses that were being newly built And I'm like, okay, so if this house is being built over here,
Mm-hmm.
other people might be selling houses. Or I would just look for stuff like you ride past a house, you see a mailbox with mail just falling out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know that nobody's in
and
that
nobody
house.
there. Okay.
So it's like, okay, that house, somebody might want to sell it. So I write the address down. Or if you go past a house and you see it's not maintenance, the steps got weeds coming out of them, or the windows don't look like that they're new blinds. It's just like looks like it's dilapidated. I used to write it down and I would research it. And then I ran across there's a website called propstream.com, and I went on propstream.com and literally it tells you all the information.
Wow.
It tells you when it was sold, who owns it, everything. And then they have something called skip tracing. So skip tracing is where there's a system that literally will give you the information on the owner. And so, or I'll give you another little trick. If you go on Fiverr.com, if you
that's the place where you can buy all types of things.
Yeah, so
right?
Fiverr is like an online marketplace where you can get graphics done, you can get Photoshop stuff done, you can do a lot of different things. It's basically like a bunch of freelance workers.
Okay.
And so you can go on Fiverr.com and for like $5, you can send a person 100 addresses,
Ooh.
and they will skip tracing.
And they'll do
for
skip
you.
tracing for you?
So they'll send you back a spreadsheet of every address with 2 or 3 phone numbers, 2 or 3 emails.
Wow.
I know that not just for $5.
For $5.
Get damn.
Just $5.
You got yourself a mini detective.
Yep, basically. Yep. And
I'm paying you to detect shit.
They will do
for
all the work
$5.
for you, and then from there, you can email all of those people together, or you could get like one of those text messaging apps where you can send out text message blasts.
Right. Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
PropStream does all this stuff for you. It's like an extra fee or whatever. But if you strapped for money, listen, I was emailing them myself. I was calling them myself, and you get some good leads. Follow up on them.
Okay.
Some people won't, but that's how I started. So once you find the property, that's number one.
Okay.
Then number two is analyzing the property, which probably should be 1A because it's the most important part of the process. If you don't analyze the deal right,
that's when you can be taken to the cleaners.
Yes, you can lose $100,000 easy. So to analyze a deal, you want to make sure that it's all about the value.
Okay.
So again, we go back to those numbers that we were using before. If once you find a property and you find out the value of it, and say the value is $200,000, I'll keep using that number. You want to make sure that when you purchase it and whatever it takes to rehab it is under 75%. You want to have that cushion in there. So if the property is, we'll use even smaller numbers. If the property is worth $100,000, you want to make sure the purchase price and the rehab price comes up to no more than $75,000. If it does,
leave it alone.
It's not worth it.
Oh,
So if you get a deal and just say again, it's worth $100,000, you buy it for $15,000, you put $45,000 into it, that's only $60,000. That comes up under $75,000. That's a good deal. Then you can do whatever you want with it. You want to take it on, sell it, whatever, but it's a good deal.
Okay.
Did you ever? What do you think about when they building up straight from the ground? Have you ever thought about doing something like that?
New construction?
New construction, yes.
I mean, new construction, you could cash out with new construction. Like you can cash out. I haven't tried it yet. It's really no difference. Here's the pros and the cons for me. I'll start with the cons. The cons are there's a lot more not restriction, but there's a lot more licensing that goes into it and permitting. So you got to get a permit to get the foundation done, and then of course the city has to come out because you have to run new gas lines and water lines, and so they have to dig the street up.
Sound like you got to grease some palms. Sound like
you can get
to take care of some politicians.
You can get it done. Now in certain areas that might be true. You might have to grease some palms, but for the most part, you can get it done. But it's just a lot more permitting. But it's basically the same So like once you get the foundation up, new construction is actually easier because you're dealing with a blank slate. So with investing with, you know, distressed properties, you got to go in. So I'll give you an example. My first property I bought looked fine. I went in, it was just an old property. I mean, the roof was, I basically bought a convertible house because the roof was just gone. But,
The whole top missing.
yeah, it was like,
Damn.
but I knew that was an easy fix. But what I didn't know is that when I started demoing the house and taking out all the old walls and all, once we got all the walls down, we noticed that the front wall was bowed. So if this was the like studs, the wall bowed out like 8 inches. So it looked like a pregnant house.
Damn. Was that from water damage or anything like
It's
that?
just from not water damage. It's just that from the way the house settled, the bricks just was old and they just wasn't
Buckled
taken
in.
care of.
Yeah,
And so the
wow.
front of the house was buckling, and I had an engineer come in, and he was like, "Yeah, well, you can do something called star bolts. It's basically where they take these long rods, stick. If you ever seen the front of a house and they got stars on it,
Yeah.
it's because
Yeah.
they take a rod through the front
Yeah.
and it goes through the joists, and the joists are what hold the floor up. And so they take a rod and they go through, like, if this was a joist, it would go through like the first 4 of them, and then they literally put a thing on the back and crank it to bring the
Bring it closer
wall-
together.
Bring it closer.
Get the hell out of there.
So
now.
those star
Wow.
bolts keep the house basically standing up straight. They're very expensive.
Well, I mean, it's a whole lot cheaper than tearing the whole damn wall down, right?
That is a extreme no.
Get out of here.
Tearing down the wall was way cheaper.
Oh, wow.
Literally, my
Okay.
first house, I tore the front of the house off
Mhm,
and built it back up. And so it was like, you don't know until you know. Like,
right.
yeah.
Right.
until you open up all the walls, you just never know. That's just a part of that comes with investing. You might think you bought, you know, a good deal, and then all of a sudden you look up and there's just something wrong with it. I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with your, so let's say for instance, all right, I buy one property today, and then I'm looking, and then I want to, you know, I see another investment, and I want to buy another property in another 6 months. Does it matter like how long you know? Is there like a certain time span in between purchasing, you know, investments? You know what I'm saying? Is there a time limit in between? Because that's what they were making it seem like to me. You know, the realtors.
So shout out to the realtors. My cousin is a realtor, so shout out to them. But
Give him some flowers.
Give him flowers. Give him flowers.
Give him some flowers.
shout out to Will.
Listen, because it ain't
listen.
easy being a realtor, and you had to deal with these people and all these, you know, different thoughts and attitudes and so forth.
Yeah, if you need a good realtor, look up Will Catlett, Catlett. He's
Okay.
a very good realtor. But
As a matter of fact, I'll throw it in the description.
Yes.
When we premiere this video. Yeah, I mean, we'll do that.
yeah, so it all that part depends on funds. If you have the money to buy multiple properties, be my guest. You can do it. It's just that if you don't, there's the majority of investors deal with something called hard money. And so hard money, what it is different from a bank. When you go into a bank and ask for money, they want your social security number, they want your DNA, your blood, and they want your grandmama's, you know, her first husband's last name. They want everything.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna need that arm you got there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one? The left one. Thank you very much. Thank you kindly.
Right. So with the hard money lenders, they don't have as many restrictions. They just want to know is the value there.
Yeah.
If we give you this money, is it worth it? So if you got a hard money lender, it's basically like taking out a loan, and you have to pay on that loan every month.
Okay.
The difference with hard money loans is a lot of them are called interest only loans. So when you take the loan out, instead of you paying the principal and the interest is normally lower than the principal. So they'll let you pay the interest until you actually pay the loan back, which is much cheaper. So if you go through hard money, you'll just have that loan that you got to pay back monthly. So it's like if you're paying that back, if you want to go buy another, you know, investment property, if you got the money to do it, go ahead. But you know, most investors when they're new, they don't have the money to buy another one.
Yeah.
So it's like you buy this one, fix it up, get a tenant in it, pay those people back, and then run it right back.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm giving my man Plog. My man Plog in the building. Let me get Plog some flowers, man. Go ahead. Yeah, Plog. Yo. Listen, Plog over there. I see you, Plog. I see you. I see you, Plog. But we gotta say this one. He be lurking. You know, Plog be lurking. Plog be lurking. What's good, broski? So we here with my man Dish Joint Podcast with Mr. CJ Moore.
CJ.
Yeah, an investor out of Philadelphia.
More and more.
Giving out these tips and these nuggets for you. You know what I mean? We hitting with the questions and he knocking them out the park. And so listen, so we talked about the investment process. You know what I mean? From start A to start B. And you just answered another question I was going to ask about when Stizzy asked you how many properties that you can handle. It just all depends on how deep your pockets go, right?
And so it's multi-layer. It's all depending on how much money you have available.
Okay.
And it also depends on the team that you have that are going to do the construction. So to me, the available funds and the team that you have to work on it are the two most vital parts of investing. Because you might have the money to invest, but if you gotta, if your team is trash, a property that might take, so again, shout out to Doug. I've seen him do a duplex in 40 days.
Wow.
So take a duplex
Complete
and strip it
restoration
and put it all the way back to where literally a person could move in the next day in 40 days. So if you got the right team, you can do it. But if you don't have the right team, that 40 days could take 8 months.
Yeah.
With just different people, just not being reliable. And again, unfortunately, the word contractor has con in it. And there's a lot of contractors who are con.
Yes.
So if a property takes that long to, let's say, I don't want to say flip, but
Fix.
Are you essentially losing money?
Yeah. So the way you see it is the way I see it is, okay, the average property should take no more than 90 days. Unless you like add like an addition or something crazy. If you just demoing it, putting everything back together, should take 90 days. So after that 90, on that 91st day, that's a day of rent. So just again, we'll use even numbers. Just say you were renting it for $1,200, and it's 30 days in a month. So that's $40 a day. So now you're losing $40 every day that you could potentially be renting this house. So that's how I see it. So every day another day that it takes to get fixed, I lost 40, I lost 80, I lost 120. Like, that's how I see it.
So it's adding up.
So it starts to add up after a while if you don't have the right team in there to get stuff done. It starts to add up.
So now is it a difference between an investor just, okay, I'm investing my money, I got the property, now I'm going to rent it out or I'm going to sell it?
Yes. So there's a difference. Renting up to selling it is just basically selling it. So you could sell it directly like yourself. Yeah. So if you ever seen the ad and it's saying like a private seller, that just means that somebody's selling it themselves. They're not going through any type of realtor or real estate company. Okay. Or you can, hire a realtor who will do, the due diligence and do the work for you. And you can go that way. So that's just selling. Renting it is just basically finding a renter. So there's a lot of different renters. There's what they call fair market renters, who are people, everyday people that work and they just want to rent the place. Then you have Section 8, which is, people who are on Section 8 who live
low
in a house.
income, below poverty
then
line.
there's now there's Airbnb.
Yes, that came up fast.
Another one which is good that I think is slept on a lot is travel nurses. So a lot of people have travel nurses, and the one thing that I found out is that,
especially during the pandemic, they racked up.
Yeah, and the travel nurses, a lot of those agencies, they pay 8 months in advance.
They do. So
instead of you waiting, you got to wait till the first to get your money. They'll give you 8 months up front. And sometimes it's say if your rental rate is $1,200, you can negotiate like, hey, let me get $1,350. They're like, okay. Because those hospitals have so much money, they just like, hey, we need to get somebody.
We just need
we
the people.
need to get that
we
nurse
need the
here.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to get that nurse
I
here.
have a few traveling nurses, and they stay for a couple of months up to a year.
Yeah, and the good thing about traveling nurses, from some of the ones I've dealt with, is they will let you know, like, hey, this person's moving out, but we got somebody that can come in there, blah blah blah. So it's not like they just move out and going about their business. A lot of them will like try to put somebody else
in that problem. Wow, you got something, Stacey? I hit him again.
Oh no! Oh, you talking about questions? I'm rocking them out. Go ahead.
All right,
you got this one.
Well, I got this one. All right. Well, CJ, what sets you apart from other investors or investors that you know?
I don't know if I'm any different, but the only thing about me is, my investing is built off passion. So everybody does business for money, but again, for me, it's just I have an issue with what they call gentrification. The word gentrification just means to like make better, beautiful, or to make beautiful.
Okay.
And we hear gentrification and there's people, coming into our communities who are not from our communities. To me, that's colonization. And so my goal
is... And there is a difference. Because a lot of people know that they hear gentrification, they think it's bad.
These people are just moving in.
Yeah.
They taking over.
Nah, they just demonized the word that was a good word. And so for me, my goal is to, keep as many people into our neighborhoods, because I grew up in South Philly. And so, we used to have neighborhoods and communities where, these people lived here for 10, 15, 20 years.
Yes.
You know your neighbor's grandmom and their aunts. Yep. Their aunts is like your aunts. So we built a sense of community, and now we don't really have that. And, my mom bought the house that I grew up in 1985 for, I want to say like $28,000. There's a house that's 3 doors from her that just sold for $380,000.
Gee whiz.
And so, the average person that in that neighborhood is a working class person. They can't afford that, and they shouldn't have to afford that. When,
right.
The economy around them, there's not jobs that allow you to afford that
type of money. I mean,
so we know
not
that
in South Philadelphia, not even in Philadelphia, within the inner cities,
right? So we know that we know what that's about. They're trying to put people in there that don't look like me.
Yeah.
So like my job is that I want to do is keep those same I want to rebuild neighborhoods, and not just in the sense of rebuilding the neighborhood, but rebuilding the community. Whereas these people are been on this block for 20 years. Everybody's grandmama, their uncles, they this and that, so that we can build a sense of community. So, because I think that if you start building these communities back, the violence and stuff like that, it'll decrease. Because if little Pookie is down there acting a fool, well, Miss Sharon down the street, she know his mom, so maybe he'll think twice, like, oh, you know what, I don't want to be doing this. But if I just move to a block and I don't know the people, and I ain't got to worry about them talking to my mom, or they don't know my mom. So I think that, like, for me, that's like where we have to start to get our, to get our communities back. And that's where I differ. It's not really about the money. I mean, it's about the money because it's business, but it's like, for example, the majority of the people in my units are military veterans that were homeless, or women, women that have experienced domestic abuse. And so it's like I'm reaching out to a demographic that a lot of people forget about. And for me, how is it that our country can allow these people to go fight and literally put their life on the line, and then they come home and they don't have nowhere to live?
Yeah,
like, to me,
they don't want to take care of them.
Yeah, that don't sit right with me. Yeah. So it's like I'll reach out to those agencies first, and if they don't have anything available, which is almost never, like they never not have people, then I'll start reaching out for like fair market people or whatever. But that's the difference to me. I'm always trying to do it to where I'm helping somebody who really needs the help.
Okay.
Do you have anybody that you're training, or anybody that you see, a young person that you see potential in, that you're putting under your wing?
May want to offer advice to them or anything like that.
The crazy thing about it is, what they say, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Can't make him drink.
And
Shit, I'm thirsty now.
I got my water.
Yeah.
I've been giving out this information to people for the last 3 years, and the one thing about me is I can't be hungrier. Like
Yes.
I can't be
Yes,
hungrier
yeah.
than you.
Mm-hmm,
Like what you the hunger that you feel in your stomach, I can't feel that. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I can only see it if you ask, "Hey, I'm starving. I need X, Y, and Z. Can you show me this or show me that?" So I always give out the game, and the ones that's showing me that hey, all right, this sounds like something I want to be into. Then, I'll take them under my wing easily, but I gotta see that you want it because for me, again, time is my most valuable asset. So I don't want to waste it.
Okay.
And I don't want to start something where I could have been either with my kids or I could have been looking at another investment. And I've invested this time in you, and now you just up and quit on me.
Yeah.
So it's like I understand if I've had some kids that I've showed, and then they like, wait, this is too much. And so I get that because it's like you're young, you got years to figure it out.
Yeah.
So I'll take that. But it's like if you're interested, but then you ghosted me, I'm calling you like, hey, come look at this house with me. And you ghosted me, or I don't hear from you for months, and then it's like, nah, I can't do that.
Well, I mean, listen, to be an investor, you have to have, you got to have the hustle man mentality. You know what I mean? You got to be a hustler. Let's say this. I mean, you got to have that drug dealer mentality. You know what I mean? Where I'm a hustle to get mines, or
I put a positive spin on it.
Yeah.
A lot of
so to
people
use that analogy. Okay, all right.
you gotta have you gotta have what they in sports what they call that dog in you. You gotta have that dog in you.
Let me give it to them. I like that right there.
You gotta again, I played basketball my whole life, and I'm not the tallest guy in the world. I'm not the most athletic. But when I get on that court, I got the mentality like, I don't care who you are, you can't stop me. And so you have to have that mentality. Like there's some nights I've been in my investment properties 4:00 in the morning. I've been there since 3:00 in the afternoon because I know I need to get done. And the help that I hired, they know where to be found. They ain't got nothing to do with me. I got to get this finished. I've been in houses where, I'm working on one thing and I turn around, there's 5 rats. Okay, I'm gonna figure out how to get them out, but I gotta keep working.
Get them out of here.
I was working on a roof, and 5 raccoons came out during the daytime, and you're not supposed to see raccoons during the day.
If you do, you got an issue, bro.
I went to the store, the poppy store at the corner. I bought some cayenne pepper. I threw that cayenne pepper up there. Listen, they gotta go.
Hey man, listen, wolf piss work too.
Oh, okay.
From Home Depot.
I didn't
get
know
that. Get that wolf pee. Yeah.
And so like you just gotta have that mentality. Like you gotta understand that it's not gonna be easy.
Right.
Nothing that's worth anything is easy. If it's easy, it's not valuable. And so it's like you gotta understand. You gotta put the work in, and there's no better way to get it than from firsthand experience. I can tell you what to do. I can tell you exactly what to do. But when you hit a bump in the road, you got to be able to pivot, and sometimes you might have to pivot by yourself.
Right.
Your mentor might not be there, or your team might not be there. You just got to go get it. So, just got to have that mentality.
Like you said, that's that dog in you, bro.
Yes.
So I remember my coach used to say, it's not the size of the dog in the fight; it's the size of the fight in the dog.
What they say, success, something like success. No, hard work pays off. I forget how it goes, but it's basically like hard work pays off when success is not working or something like that. It's basically like you gotta work hard. My dad used to always say to me, what do he say? Success only comes before work in the dictionary.
Yeah.
That's what he used to say to me. Success only comes before work in the dictionary. So you gotta work hard.
Did you ever think about like writing a book or a tutorial or something?
What about offering like master class?
Again,
bro, drop that knowledge.
He just said he can't stand master
but get
class.
paid for it, man.
I hate that. Like for me, because I know that
I'll be on his top. I'm gonna text him tomorrow. Master class.
I've always been the type to find little hustles. I've been DJing since I was 17. Make my own T-shirts and stuff like that. So to me, it's like I can make money in so many other ways.
Mhm.
I just want to give you the game for free. So like that again, writing a book, maybe I'll write a book. I don't know what it would be about, but I don't know about my life or maybe my real estate journey or whatever.
Mhm.
But I would never. I feel like I just feel like a scam to me. Like if I know that I can give you some information for free that could change your life,
Right.
and I feel like how do I better my community as a whole if every time I do something I gotta charge you? We'll never get out of poverty if we charge
If we
everybody.
keep charging it.
Yeah, it's
Right.
like we need to give away some stuff to, try to level the playing field with with the dominant society. So it's like,
Mhm.
no, I'd rather give you this for free. Because again, the work is the payment. I can give you the knowledge. It's not like you could take the knowledge and poof, you're gonna be rich tomorrow.
Mhm.
You have to put the work in. So I know, like, I already know you're gonna have to put the work in. Let me give you the knowledge, the knowledge plus the work. So I have a motto. It's called CEO: choices, effort, outcome. Your choices,
That's
the
good.
choices you make
Yes.
plus the effort you put into it will always equal the outcome.
Bro,
Come
that's your
on
book right
now.
there, bro.
There you go. Wait.
That's your book right there, bro. Yeah. That's it right there.
That's major right there.
Yeah, that's your book right there.
Wait, say it again. Say it one more again.
So your choices is CEO is the acronym. Your choices plus your effort will always equal the outcome. So the choices you make, added with the effort that you put into it, you'll always get the outcome.
I love it.
I mean, listen, bro. I mean, we work in human services in the social work field. Listen, man, for you to even come and drop some of that knowledge to some of these youths, some of our kids,
I mean,
man, that's golden, bro.
See there,
That's golden.
For me, that's where it is for me. Like, and there's no disrespect to adults, but it's like that's the niche that I would go towards. Like, hey, listen, you can do this. Like, when my dad passed away when I was 21 years old, and thank God he had life insurance, and I got a check for $20,000. Now I had no financial literacy. My mom was very good with her credit. She still has an 800 credit score, but she never really taught me.
Hi, mom.
Yeah.
She never really taught me. Like, she just always said, make sure you pay your bills on time. But there was more to that. So I took that 20,000 and I bought some DJ equipment. So I invested like $10,000 into the DJ equipment, which I probably made 10, 20 fold from. But the other 10,000, I'm 21. I'm gonna have me some.
He like, I got racks on racks.
But if I knew what I knew now, like if I would have took that 10,000, and this was at the time, this was 2006. This was at the time they were selling houses for $1.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, the dollar houses.
The dollar houses.
The dollar houses.
So if I know what I know now, with $10,000, you know how many houses I could have bought, even if I didn't fix them all up at the same time.
Yeah.
If I would have just said it was $100, I could have bought for $1,000. I could have bought 10 of them, and I could have just sat.
Man, do they still got the dollar houses?
They don't. And the crazy thing is, like, my real estate journey started early, and I didn't even know it. So me and my best friend at the time, we was getting into what now we know is wholesaling. So he knew somebody that was selling properties. We bought a property for $800. So we split it, $400 a piece. And so again, not knowing the whole and again the whole mentor thing, we didn't know, there was no social media, so we didn't know who to reach out to. And a guy called us one day and he's like, "Hey, I bought a house off of you guys for $7,800."
Wow.
What? I'm like,
Wait,
okay.
we bought this for $800 and he's gonna give us $7,800. Oh, we taking that. And not knowing, we sold that house, and literally right across the street, they developed a brand new house, 3-story, and that house is worth $660,000 right now.
So if you would have held out,
I would be a millionaire.
oh,
Dang.
sometimes that just chaps your ass.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that just chaps your ass.
You don't know what you don't know. So
Yeah.
again, like that's why I always say, like, I would give it to.
Yeah. What you doing?
Hold up, wait.
Los over here doing
I'm
something, y'all.
I'm over here clicking.
He even clicking stuff.
I'm struggle
hit
streaming.
stuff.
Wait a minute. There we go. Yeah, I'm over here struggle streaming.
But yeah, like that's why I will definitely talk to the kids like, hey,
Yeah.
you know, you take that income tax, you know, you want to go buy those Balenciagas or them whatever jeans, Subi jeans, whatever. Nah, take that income tax and put it over here, and literally you can start again. That guy, Newt the entrepreneur, he said he was 24 when he started. He's 27 and he's a multi-millionaire.
Multi-million. 27 years old as a multi-millionaire. Man. You know, listen, I look, man, I give you your props. Man. You know what I mean? You doing your thing. You know what I mean? I admire you.
I appreciate that.
I admire you. My man, it's Mr. CJ Moore over here, y'all.
CJ Moore.
Mr. CJ.
CJ giving us more. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? We call him Cuddy. So listen. So I'm a young entrepreneur. You know what I mean? I'm willing to take the risk of investing my money. Now, it sounds good when people say, listen, you can flip, you can this, you can make money here, you can make money there. Let's talk about the risk.
Oh, there's a lot of risk.
How can you protect yourself?
So it's all in the due diligence. So like me, if I was to do a master class, I will always tell people, watch me first. Don't invest anything. Like, don't just say, hey, here's five. People are like, oh, just give me 5,000 and nah. I'm so confident in my craft. Watch me first. I want you to watch my every move. And shout out to Doug again, because that's what he did. He took me to a closing where he bought, I think he bought like 8 properties.
Wow.
For like, it was like, he bought it for like 300,000, but it was worth like 850,000 or something. But he showed the process of you going to the closing table and you got to pay closing costs. And even the seller, they was going back and forth over minor details where the seller was, he wasn't trying to give, like Doug bought the properties on like the third of the month.
Yeah.
So the guy wasn't trying to give him the rent for the month. And he's like, well, I'm about to own this property for the majority of the month. You can't keep the rent that you just got 2 days ago because that's for this next month. And the guy was like, no. And finally, once he saw the check he was going to get, he was like, okay, I guess it's not worth it. But it's just understanding stuff like that that the average person. So me, I'm like, if you want to invest, watch me. Watch the risk. I'll show you the risk. The risk is, you getting a team to come in to put in a roof for $12,000 and you give them another disclaimer: never pay a contractor all the money up front.
Never pay them nothing all up front.
Ever.
No.
They gonna get you.
They gonna get you.
That's what a coming contractor.
Yes.
So you think you gonna give a regular person $12,000? You think you're gonna see him tomorrow? People with integrity, yes, but the majority of people, no. So you give them sometimes you might give them a down payment. I pay my contractors in thirds, so I give you $4,000 to start, and then once you get halfway, I'll give you the other, and then once you get done, you get the rest. But I give you $4,000 and you ready. All right, cool. We're gonna put the roof in. And Monday comes and he's like, oh well, yeah, my kids' school is off, so I couldn't come. Okay, cool. Tuesday come, oh yeah, my somebody stole my catalytic converter. Okay, cool. Wednesday, Thursday, all right. Thursday come, yeah, so my wife, she was in a crash, and it's like, oh, here we go. So now I done gave this person money. So there's always risk. There's risk in the contract. There's even risk in something called earnest money deposit. So what that is when you find a property that you want to buy, it's basically like a down payment. So you put this earnest money deposit, you give it to the title company to say, hey, I want to buy this property. And then say, okay, you go to buy the property and then you find out that the property has liens on it or something. And you like, nah, I don't want that. I don't want to back out of it. Right. But you get this $3,000 earnest money deposit. Well, guess what? Now that you backing out the deal, that $3,000
is gone.
It's gone.
Jeez.
So that's a risk from the start. And then again, just the risk of you might have budgeted, say, $60,000 for the project to get completely done.
Okay.
And you might be, I had an issue where, again, I demoed the whole house. And once we took the walls down, we found out that the back wall had a tree growing in it.
Wow.
Like inside the wall.
Yeah.
So we literally had to cut the tree out and then cut piece of the wall out to get the rest of the tree out and then build that wall up. Well, that wasn't a budgeted expense.
Yeah.
That cost me $8,000, $6,000.
Wow.
And I didn't know that was going to happen. So things like that, there's a lot of inherited risk. If you budget well and you add contingencies to like give you a little buffer. Okay, I added, $15,000 in contingency just in case something might happen, like a tree growing in the wall. So there's always inherited risk, especially when you invest. If you invest in the stock market, if you invest in Airbnb, I just seen a video of a lady who she rented her Airbnb out, and a person came in and changed the locks, and they became a squatter.
You know what? I seen that.
And she couldn't get him out. She could not get him out.
You gotta go to tenant landlord court,
which is
file an eviction.
Which is the stupidest law ever. Like
Yes.
that's what should be on the ballot.
Yeah. Because it could be 6 months down, almost a year down the line before you can get them out your house.
So unfair.
Eviction lawyer costs like $8,000, so it's not cheap. That's not cheap. So yeah, it's inherited risk in everything, but it's just as long as you're doing your due diligence at every step.
Yeah.
You go by the property, you look at it. Even if you like a property, don't be impulsive and say, all right, I'm gonna buy it here. What you can do is tell the seller, hey, give me 48 hours. Give me 48 hours and I'll get back to you. Like I'll sign a contract in 48 hours. But in that 48 hours, go by the house, 3-4 times. Go by there in the daytime. Go by there at night. So you can see what the neighborhood is like.
Yeah,
or
that's them tips right there.
Listen,
again,
that's them tips.
I've been in houses where I had my plumber coming up the street to finish some plumbing work, and a guy across the street literally ran up and on the step and started shooting into a house, and I was like, whoa, shooting, and I'm like, again, that's a scary thing. So just understanding, like, literally do your due diligence at every step. Don't leave any stone unturned. Don't say, oh, you know what? All right, I'll be cool. I can skip that because it'd be that one thing that you skip that come to bite you in the butt in the long run.
And listen, Los gonna let every contractor know if I hire you for a job.
License.
Yeah, listen, 7:30 in the morning now, I'm on your bed like this.
License and
hey man, let's go. You ready to go to work? Look, when he wake up, I'm waking up. What's up? How you doing, honey? Ready to go work, man? Let's go.
License and insurance. Make sure they got license.
Make sure they're licensed and insured.
I know people like to cut corners and get the guys out of Home Depot parking lot and all that.
That's
cool.
Cut it.
But if something
go wrong,
happen, it's gonna be on you. So just always try to do your due diligence and understand that every good investment takes time. So anything that you want to invest in you're not going to make $1 million tomorrow. Like the numbers I gave you before, the house is worth $200. The bank give you the $150. Now you got $70K. Like that's not going to happen in your first deal. It's not. It's not. It's just not going to happen. So don't think that you're going to make $50K the first time you do it.
Your first
it's
deal.
A gradual process. Yeah, in a year, you probably can do that, but don't think that it's going to happen. So just take your time. Always think 3 steps ahead and always have a plan B. Like, okay, if this doesn't work, if this contractor don't work, guess what? You need a backup one because the work still need to be done. So if you only got one contractor, you only reached out to one contractor, and again, say if he gets sick or say if he get arrested, there's nothing you could do. Now you stuck because you ain't got nobody. So always have a plan A, B, C, maybe even D, so that you can always pivot and keep moving.
Okay.
My man.
Yes, this was good.
Mr. CEO, bro. Thanks a lot.
Yes.
Thank y'all. I appreciate
thank you for coming, dog. You dropping them nuggets and them tips.
Yes.
You know what I mean? This Joint Podcast. Streaming every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Then uploaded to your favorite music media streaming platform. Deezer, Google, Spotify,
Come on now.
iTunes.
Say it again.
Man, we dropping them.
Yeah.
We dropping them high. We knocking out these interviews.
Mm-hmm.
And my man, he blessed us, man.
Yes,
blessed
he
us.
did.
And listen, I want to give a shout out. Excuse me. I want to give a shout out to you guys because this is an amazing platform, and just from the interviews that I watched, you guys are interviewing everyday people. And what I think, why I
We
think
want to
that's,
keep it in the family.
why I think
Yes.
that's important is because the average kid, like there's only one Meek Mill, there's only one
Yes.
LeBron James, there's only one Jay-Z, but there's 1,000 nurses, there's 1,000
Yes.
architects, and so there's 1,000 realtors.
Yes.
So we need to highlight these people.
These guys. Yes.
Yes.
Because we can let I'm an everyday person. I grew up in South Philadelphia. I don't come from wealth. My dad was a teacher. My mom worked for FMC, which is a chemical company. So I don't come from any wealth. Nobody in my family is wealthy. Like I'm an everyday regular person, but I saw something and I knew, okay, this is what I want to do. And as long as you put your mind to it, you can do it. So like I love that this platform highlights those type of people because
The everyday
I want
people,
my
man.
kids to see stuff like this and be like, hey, I don't want to be in real estate like my dad, but I want to be in insurance just like Mr. Maurice.
Yeah.
Right.
Or
Or I want to be a nurse or a social worker.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I want to be in so it's like we need more platforms like this that highlight the everyday people so that kids can have the examples of not just celebrities, rappers,
Yes.
and entertainers.
Yes. Oh man, thank you.
This
brother.
was a good one.
My man. Right?
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's my man.
Yes.
That's my man right there, bro. Hey, listen, man. Everybody in Twitch and YouTube, we want to thank you for watching.
Yes. Thank you.
We see you.
Somebody's watching me.
We see you.
Hey, hey.
Oh,
Shout out to Michael Jackson on the background vocals.
yeah, he killed it.
Come on,
He
Mike.
killed it. A lot of people didn't know that. A lot of people didn't know that. Mike was in a lot of songs that people didn't know. Yeah, I mean, so listen, bro, man, what you got planned, man, for the next 5 years, dog?
So my goals are always aggressive. I just turned 38 in February.
Oh, happy birthday.
Oh, man, happy birthday, bro. Happy belated birthday, bro.
Thank you. I plan to be retired by 40, by my 40th birthday. I will be out of corporate America and I'll be running my own business.
Come on now. That's what I'm talking about.
So my real estate will be taking off. I have a podcast that I'm about to start with my guy Maurice on
Yes.
it's just gonna be on everyday entrepreneurship. So you always see the podcast of the people when they made it,
Yes.
but you never
Yeah.
really see people during the journey.
When they
Yes.
the journey.
Yes.
So-
That's what we want to bring the journey.
Journey.
here,
We're gonna
bro.
bring you
Yes.
the journey.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I got a t-shirt line that I got coming out. I got a gaming venue that me and a partner of mine is about to open
Okay.
because we know the gaming industry is real big. So,
Yes.
man,
Come
feel
on
good.
now.
there's something for the kids that we want to
Los
do.
would know that.
And listen, I'm big time game. You
I about to say Los would
Yeah,
know
I see-
that.
you see the Xbox back there, bro.
Los
You got
El
the PlayStation
Plaga.
down, tucked down low.
Listen,
Plaga.
You'll definitely be our consultant on setting all that stuff up.
Yeah,
I'm
we
dead
got a
serious.
streaming PC
Yeah,
right
yeah.
here.
You'll definitely be on one of our consultants
Nah,
to
bro,
help us
call
put that
me,
together.
dog. You know how we do.
Yes.
But yeah, like again, I got a lot of stuff planned, but it's definitely to just help my community. What's going on here is sad, and I just want to be able to be a good part. But I'm always
Yes.
be in the background. You're never gonna see me. I don't need the accolades. I don't need the validation. I just want to do the work and help the people out. So that's what I got in store the next 5 years.
Okay.
Thank you for blessing us, bro.
Thank you.
No
Thank
problem.
you. Thank
Dizzy,
you. Yo.
take us home.
Okay, little joker.
Deuces, we love y'all. We out.